In this video, I've got a very simple question for you. Have you got what it takes to be an entrepreneur? Now, lots of people think that being an entrepreneur is a piece of cake. All you've got to do is just sit there and come up with some idea and just wait for the money to start flowing in. But in reality, being an entrepreneur is very difficult, and not everybody is cut out for the entrepreneurial lifestyle. So ask yourself these questions. First of all, do you like to make your own decisions? Or do you prefer to follow instructions and have somebody else make the decisions for you? Now, entrepreneurs are decision makers. In fact, being an entrepreneur is all about making decisions. And entrepreneurs are happy to make decisions and then live by the results, right or wrong. They're quite happy to take the responsibility. They're quite happy to decide exactly what direction their business is going to take, and then they are prepared to follow it through, as I said, right or wrong. So in order to be an entrepreneur, you really have to be comfortable making decisions. Secondly, are you risk averse? Or are you happy to take a risk if the odds are in your favor? Well, entrepreneurs are risk takers, and being an entrepreneur really is all about taking a risk. You're risking your time, you're risking your capital, you're risking your business all the time. Now, entrepreneurs, of course, are not rash. They weigh up the risk versus reward. And if the reward outweighs the risk, they're quite prepared to take a risk and to live by the consequences. That said, of course, most entrepreneurs are not rash. They're not stupid. They know when to take a risk, but they also know when to play it safe. Are you curious by nature? Or do you prefer to mind your own business? Well, entrepreneurs are curious. They look at things around them. They inquire. They look for opportunities. And quite often it's through being curious, it's through being nosy, if you want to put it that way, that many entrepreneurs come up with their best ideas for businesses or to find solutions to problems that people have. So they tend to look at the world in a slightly different way from other people who tend to sort of have a rather narrow focus. And do you give up easily? Or are you someone who perseveres until the end? Well, perseverance is a key entrepreneurial trait, and you need to persevere and to overcome all sorts of adversity, all sorts of hardships, all sorts of setbacks. Now, they're not always rather unpleasant physical setbacks like this poor soldier is taking during his boot camp training, but and while you might not have to wade through freezing cold, dirty water under barbed wire with ammunition being fired at you, you will often have to take lots of decisions under stress, under pressure. You'll find that there are lots of setbacks. You'll find that things don't go right for you the first time round. You have to think of different solutions. You have to make different decisions, and you have to keep on and you have to keep at it, and you have to overcome the adversity. And that is a key trait of being an entrepreneur. And is your glass half empty? Or is it half full? Well, being an optimist is essential if you're an entrepreneur because, as I was just saying, you're going to have to overcome all sorts of adversity. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in what you're doing. You have to believe that you are going to be successful. You have to take a positive outlook with everything that you do. Now, I'm not saying that you should look at the world through rose-colored glasses like this lady. You do have to be realistic, and sometimes you have to make the decision that things are not going to work out, and you might have to shut your business down. You might have to cancel a project. You might have to decide, well, things really aren't working. But you have to start off after weighing up the risk and reward, after looking at all the balances of probabilities that you are going to be successful, and you have to carry on in that vein. So if you can tick all of those boxes, then yes, you probably do have what it takes to be an entrepreneur. And if you don't, and being an entrepreneur isn't for you, well, that's fine too, because let's face it, if everybody worked for themselves, if everybody was an independent person, if everybody ran their own small businesses, then there would be no economy. There would be no jobs. There would be no manufacturing. Not everybody has what it takes to be an entrepreneur. And frankly, maybe that's a good thing. So if you've answered yes, then congratulations, you probably do have what it takes to be an entrepreneur.